For those of you who don't know, I went on vacation for a week in Taiwan, and yes, before you ask, it was amazing. Trains are a really big part of life in Taiwan, and really, it wasn't too difficult to find a train toy that was completely unique to Taiwan. These little toys are manufactured by a company called Touchrail, and they are actually a manufacturer that is based in Taiwan. They are best known for their N-scale models of Taiwanese locomotives and cars, and staplers. However, they do produce a line of small toy trains for kids, and I'm not fluent in Mandarin, so Google translated them to boutique toys. I guess that's their name now. So here I have 3 complete sets and a single locomotive, and I'm going to walk you through the quirks of these little collectible trains and tell you how much I love these little guys. The first thing you'll notice about these is that they come in these little plastic cases. These are very clearly inspired by the jewel cases you can find N-scale locomotives in, which makes a lot of sense considering Touchrail's history. They are intended to be stacked on top of each other for easy storage in store displays. So each set comes with a locomotive and 3 cars. Although locomotives do come as a single pack. The first thing about these trains is that they're pretty small. Each car measures only about 2 inches in length, which is pretty standard across the entire range for locomotives and cars. Yes, this 240T is just as large as a 282 in this train line. For a size comparison, here's one next to a Hot Wheels sized car, an HO scale locomotive, and an iconic toy that I think most of you will be familiar with. These trains are all based upon real-world prototype trains, although they're usually based on Asian prototypes with a couple European high-speed trains thrown in and GEVO. Let's start with this set. This one is based upon the Alishan Forest Railway, which I rode and thought was absolutely amazing. Seriously, if you're ever in Taiwan, ride it if you can. It is absolutely breathtaking. This particular set includes a DL43 diesel locomotive, which is a 6th-generation diesel locomotive that still serves the Alishan Forest Railway today. This locomotive is relatively plain looking, but the real one is honestly quite plain as well. The locomotive has 2 very happy eyes put up on its windshield, which will become a very frequent pattern with these little trains. The 3 coaches in this set are based off the more modern air-conditioned coaches that were delivered in 1984. I bought this set specifically for these coaches as these are the ones I rode in up the side of the mountain. All 3 in this set are completely identical and do not actually have the AC unit represented on their printing. Although they do have eyes on the back of their heads, which implies something else. It would have been really wrong to visit the Alishan Railway and not bring something Shea related back. They really love the Shea Locomotive up there. Like, seriously, everywhere I look, Sheas lurk. This particular one is based upon the 28-ton Shea that was originally first delivered in 1912. The Alishan Railway still actually operates Shea locomotives number 25 and number 31, for special events with vintage coaches. Number 28 is currently in restoration on the Alishan Railway as of 2021. This one has eyes up on its smoke box, and the boiler is correctly offset like the real thing. I wasn't originally going to include a freight set in this video, but you know what? I think it's cool enough to talk about. This one is based upon the Rocket of China. This is the first steam locomotive to ever operate in China and was originally built from parts of an old steam crane. This locomotive was built in secret as a single-cylinder locomotive before eventually being rebuilt into a conventional 2-cylinder 240T. The original was scrapped long ago, but there are at least 3 replicas around today. Once again, the eyes are put onto the smoke box with a happy expression. This set came with 2 gondolas and a boxcar, and both gondolas are identical to each other with a fixed coal load inside, and both the gondolas and boxcars have eyes, and I can assume if they had mouths, they could speak out of their butts. This last one here is very much the odd one out. This is the Union Pacific Executive Train and is the only North American prototype Touchrail produces. Why this train of all trains is anyone's guess, but the set includes a Union Pacific ES44AC, 2 dome cars, and a standard coach. The locomotive includes the signature happy eyes up on the windshields once again, and has had all its handrails printed onto the body. All 3 cars are named Missouri River Eagle, which is strange. The real Missouri River Eagle is a dome car, so one of these is correct. The coaches do not have eyes this time, instead they have accurate red marker lights and doors as per the real prototype. So what do these little trains actually do? Well, they're powered by those friction motors, like these things. The friction motor is where you rev them up and let them loose before they inevitably run under your furniture. Oh, shit. Cars on these little trains are joined together by knuckle couplers. They couple together when you push them together and work them back and forth. They uncouple when you twist them. It's a nice strong fit, and it is easily able to hold all 9 cars I have into a train together. So let's talk about the eyes. The eyes are very much the feature of these little trains, and almost all of them have them. It's cute. I think it gives these trains so much more personality, and is completely unique on a train face that I find so much more charming than the traditional ones with mouths and noses. It's amazing how much these two little gray lines can add to these little guys. So, how do you go about picking these up? Well, these guys are pretty much just native to Taiwan. I found them in a dedicated model train store, at train stations, at various stations along the Alishan Forest Railway, and Memorial Garden. Okay. Obviously, I live in the United States, and I got mine by simply going to Taiwan and bringing them back. I was there for more than that, I swear. You can't really find them on eBay. I only can find a couple listings, and they are both expensive. The TouchRail site only lists model shops where they can be purchased in Taiwan. I've been told that some Asian markets in the United States stock them. So if you want to go out and try and find some, good luck in your search for these little guys if you do decide to try and get your hands on some. So that's really it for these little trains. They're really just simple little friction toys, and they certainly quite appeal to me since they do such a perfect job of being a train toy. There's no crazy gimmicks to these. They're just trains. They do train things like trains. They're just trains.